All right, my friends. So you just finished reading a little bit about the Holocaust, which is a pretty horrific time in human history. But it's really, really important to understand that time period and especially to understand it from the perspective of people who actually went through the Holocaust, who actually lived in those concentration camps and were actually at risk or did die in the Holocaust. So, this discussion guide is going to be all about three authors who wrote some sort of book um, describing their time trying to avoid the Holocaust or being, in the concentration camps. And you've already gone over this. So this link leads you right to here, the Holocaust and literature, which you've already read over. So now you just have to kind of answer some questions about this, right? So it's going to talk about three authors in particular. The first one is Viktor Frankl, who was a prisoner at Auschwitz. He wrote A Man's Search for Meaning um, about his experience at Auschwitz, as well as some other concentration camps, and what he went through during that time. We've got uh, Elie Wiesel, who is another concentration camp survivor, and he wrote a trilogy of books about his experience, talking about, again, what happened to him, a memoir essentially, and these two authors have kind of very different experiences because Frankel was significantly older. He was almost 40 when he went to Auschwitz, whereas Elie Wiesel was only 15. So very different experiences. And then the last one is one that's very famous that you've probably heard of, which is The Diary of a Young Girl, written by Anne Frank. And this was Anne Frank's actual diary that she was writing when she was hiding, trying to avoid the Holocaust, trying to, not get taken by the Nazis. For basically 2 years, she was hiding in an attic. Eventually, she was found. Her and her family were all sent to concentration camps, and unfortunately, She died in the concentration camps. So she didn't get to talk about her experience because she didn't survive that experience. So, um, that is essentially the questions that you're going to answer for discussion lesson 14. Um, what were the main ideas? What do they have in common? And then how are they different? How are their views different? How are their situations different? Again, make sure you do step 2 and step 3 because people always forget those and they lose a lot of points for them. Connect to it somehow. And then step 4 and step 5 are basically just re-answering kind of the questions up here in a fuller way. So step 4, using 2-3 sentences. Who is the intended audience for these pieces of literature? And what reactions do you think the authors are hoping to get? So it's a little bit different for Anne Frank because she really didn't plan on having anybody read her diary. But Wiesel and Frankel definitely planned on having people read their books. So what reaction were they hoping to get? And then also, how would people from different time periods or those with the different experiences read the selection as compared to you, right? So, how are you reading it versus how someone in a different time period might read it? Basically, how would different people's reactions be different? Okay. And then, of course, as always, step 6 is just to combine those and put them in the actual discussion post. So again, really hard topic to talk about, but it is in a very, very, very important one. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks, guys, and you've got this. Bye.